All right, so when it comes to layer masks, we can have even more flexibility in the visual appearance of our images. All right, so over here in the layers panel, with that cruise ship levels adjustment layer, we have a layer mask. All right, by default, the adjustment layers will give you a layer mask, and white reveals everything on the layer. And if I was to fill that with black, then it would hide that whole adjustment that we did on here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill this mask with black, just with a keyboard shortcut, to show you that if I have a black layer mask, I hide everything. And if I have a white layer mask, I can reveal everything that's on there. So that being said, I could theoretically come over here and grab this guy here with that layer mask selected, and I can actually just make, let's make a selection in here that big, and if I wanted to fill that with black as an example, I can come over here and grab the paint bucket tool and just come in here and click and fill, and I'm sure you can see down in the layers panel I have this little black rectangle, and in here you can see that the image is much lighter. I'm going to hide my things here. You can see that the image is much lighter inside there as opposed to everything that's all around. All right, so what I'm going to do is undo that by stepping back in time, got rid of that black thing there. So now I like the black and I like the darkening that's going on all through there, but I'm not a big fan of the darkening that's kind of happening down here. So what I want to do is I want to have a little bit of black, a little bit of gray, and then the white. All right. So the white is going to reveal everything in the sky and the mountains and all that kind of stuff. And then the gray is going to be a transition, and then where the black is, it's not going to have this darkening effect is not going to have any visual effect on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the paint bucket tool and grab the gradient tool. Inside the options menu across the top where we have the choice of different things here, I'm going to choose this guy, which is foreground to background. So now I'm going to drag from black to white. We know that black will hide and white will reveal. So if I start down here and drag in this fashion, I'm going to start dragging black to white. So now if I click, hold, and drag in this fashion like this, you can see how I lightened up a little bit, and you can see down here I dragged on an angle. Well, that's not exactly what I was looking for, so I'm going to drag up this way to change it just a little bit. And now I'm liking that a little bit more. I've lightened up this area here a little bit, but I've maintained all of that stuff that's down there. If I disable the layer mask by clicking on the shift key and clicking on the mask icon itself, I can show you the before and the after, and I'm kind of happy with that, the way it's working. All right, so I like that the way it is, and I'm going to just move on from there. All right, so I think that's about all that I really wanted to talk about when it comes to working with layers and such, but let's just see. I just need to kind of mentally talk out loud and see that we've gone through the stacking order of layers, we've gone through creating new layers, we've done our drag and drop with the balloons and the copy and paste with the balloons, we created layer groups with the balloons. I've just dealt with the adjustment layers and clipping groups. So we've kind of covered off that. I've got my layer masks here that we just talked about briefly. All right, there's a layer mask up here as well, and I think I've talked about how I used that to hide that little line that was brought in from the cutout of the statue and all that kind of stuff. So I've covered off that. What I want to talk about in the next movie are the layer opacity and fill settings. All right, and we'll do that in the next movie.